Here's a question for every football fan out there. How do you measure greatness in today's NFL? Stats? Impact plays? Leadership? Well, according to a new ranking of the league's top linebackers, one name was left just outside the elite tier. A name Bengals fans know all too well. Logan Wilson, the heart of Cincinnati's defense, the leader in linebacker interceptions since 2020. And yet, he didn't crack ESPN's top 10. But here's the twist. He did make the honorable mention list. Which begs the question, is Logan Wilson underrated, overlooked, or simply a victim of circumstance in a shifting defensive landscape? Let's break it all down. What this ranking really means, what NFL insiders are saying, and why Logan Wilson could be on the verge of his biggest season yet. Logan Wilson was recently featured in ESPN's ranking of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL, but not in the main top 10 list. Instead, he was placed in the honorable mention category, and that's got people talking. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler pulled NFL executives, coaches, and scouts for the list, insiders who know the game from the inside out. These are the people who build defenses, scout talent, and game plan against guys like Wilson. And even though he didn't land in the top 10, their respect for Wilson was loud and clear. One evaluator described him as, quote, a high-level performer in all facets of the position. They acknowledged his elite instincts, his ability to anticipate routes, and called him an effective blitzer when called upon. Not bad praise from someone paid to analyze talent every single week. But there were caveats. The same evaluator said Wilson's run defense took a step back last season. Why? Well, it wasn't all on Wilson. Cincinnati's interior defensive line struggled after the loss of DJ Reader and inconsistent play from their defensive tackles. And when the guys up front aren't holding their ground, it puts more pressure on the linebackers to clean up the mess. Still, according to Pro Football Focus, Wilson actually posted his best run defense grade of his career last year, a stellar 92 overall. So who's right? The eye test or the analytics? The scouts or the spreadsheets? It might just be a case of perception meeting production. When the unit around a player declines, even great individual performances can get buried under the broader struggles of a defense. Here's what you can't ignore. Logan Wilson leads all NFL linebackers in interceptions since 2020. That's 11 picks in 4 seasons. That's instincts. That's range, that's film study, and that's trust from the coaching staff to let him roam and make plays. He's heading into his 6th NFL season and will now be working under a new defensive coordinator, Al Golden. A fresh scheme, a new voice in the locker room, and potentially a rebirth for a Bengals defense that wants to get back to the level that carried them to the Super Bowl just a few years ago. Wilson is also the kind of linebacker who's more than just a tackler. He's a communicator, a leader, and a tone setter. He brings that blend of old-school toughness with modern athleticism. He's not just reacting, he's diagnosing. That's what separates the good from the great at the linebacker position. Now, the spotlight turns to 2024. And if you ask Bengals fans, they'll tell you, Logan Wilson is a top 10 linebacker, maybe even top 5. But to prove that, he'll need help. The Bengals' front 7 has to get back to form. The loss of DJ Reader was felt last year, but with some young reinforcements and added depth on the line, there's hope that Wilson won't have to carry the load alone. This is also a critical season for the Bengals as a whole. With Joe Burrow healthy, Jamar Chase ready to dominate, and the AFC North as competitive as ever, The defense will need to make impact plays in big moments, and that's where Wilson thrives. His ability to read the quarterback, jump routes, and create turnovers could be the difference in one-possession games. If he builds on last year's performance, there's a very good chance he makes that top 10 list next offseason, maybe even higher. So, was Logan Wilson snubbed? Maybe. But snubbed players tend to come back with something to prove. And when you're already one of the smartest, most productive linebackers in the league, you don't need headlines. You just need the tape. Bengals fans, football heads, and NFL diehards, keep your eyes on number 55 in Cincinnati this season. Because while he might have missed the list, he's still on a mission, and the NFL might be in for a reminder of just how good Logan Wilson really is. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives on the league's biggest names, underrated stars, and hottest debates, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Do you think Logan Wilson belongs in the top 10, or did the voters get it right? Let us know. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.